What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is going to be a pretty cool video today. I'm going to compare this C63s to this C63s. Yes, we've got a pre-facelift. My boy Ohm just picked it up right there, and I got my facelifted C63s 2021. So we're going to compare both of these. So he's got the 2018, I got the 2021, and you know, between these two variations, you know, there's been very many changes between the interior and exterior, and a little bit of performance wise and, you know, minor stuff, but you know, the changes are significant to those who know these two cars and the history of the C-Class and kind of what's happening for the future now that they're going into four-cylinder you know, cars with high, you know, electric motors and whatnot. So this is gonna be a pretty cool video though, showing the differences between the two and comparing the two models of, you know, one of the very last, you know, V8s that we now have. But yeah, yo, do a burnout, man. Do a burnout for us to get this. These tires. You just got these, man. If you don't burn these Continentals off, man, you got some Michelins in the back. Hell yeah, let's go. All right, man, we can get on to do a burnout real quick. Let's go. That's how we do it. So we all know from the W204, the naturally aspirated engine was a pretty big seller on the W204 model, but when these models came out, they shifted to a 4-liter V8 bi-turbo engine that produced about 500 horsepower. You know, Mercedes' goal with this was, you know, smaller engine, but still maintaining, you know, that performance and the exhaust sounds. You know, these came out with some pretty good stock exhaust sounds, and what we all know is, you know, the 2018s had a louder stock exhaust because they didn't have a lot of the EU regulations, you know, guarding, you know, how much decibels, you know, these things can sound, you know, produce. So, you know, these were known to be louder than the the facelifted ones, which it is very clear this is stock. There's no modifications to the exhaust or anything. So this is the, you know, naturally sounding exhaust of the pre-facelift one, and then mine, again, you know, I haven't done anything. The only thing I've done is put the module, which just opens up the valves a little bit, but other than that, it's still a lot quieter than the pre-facelift one. So I was actually surprised. I thought that module would actually do something and make it sound closer to this one, but it actually did not. So I might look into downpipes later on. Continuing on with this, so, you know, this one, you know, he came with the multi-spoke rims, which, you know, these are my favorites out of the options that they offered when, you know, picking out the C63, the red calipers. So, you know, got the performance brakes, silver, you know, that's a classic color. That is a iconic color for Mercedes. So, you know, that silver on black looks pretty dope. But as you can see, some of the differences in cosmetics, the headlights, these were, I think, the options that they had. They didn't have the updated multi-beam headlights at that time, so, but these were still pretty cool because of this diamond kind of effect at the turn signal. So I always thought these were pretty cool too when I was looking at these back in like 2016 and 17. Another difference is obviously the grille. That is one of the biggest differences between the pre-facelift and the facelift, is they changed the grille to the Panamericana grille, which were the vertical slats instead of the kind of turbine wing, which was pretty iconic, and the gull wing and a lot of the, you know, 204 generations, and, you know, those, I guess you could say from like 2010 to 2015 or a little bit earlier than that. So, but yeah, other than that, you know, no blackout package, but it's just a straight silver, you know, finish. the V8 bi-turbo badging. One thing that I did notice is that the V8 bi-turbo badging is a lot different, and you know, don't ding my boy on this, we about to put the black ones on there, but you know, these are actually notorious for falling off, so you know. But one thing that I did notice though is the font of the V8 bi-turbo is different from the pre-facelift and the facelift. So you know, a lot of us be getting on people about their badges and stuff. It kind of made me wonder, like, you know, Mercedes doesn't really even stay consistent themselves. So you know, I'll show you guys right here real quick. You know, the pre-facelift badging is a little bit more bubblier and rounded than the facelift one, which you can see mine has. This one is a little bit more flatter and angular. If you can focus, you guys can see that. So you know, when I was ordering the all blacked out emblems, you know, I was really like kind of OCD about making sure that it matches. But then when my boy Ohm pulled up in his 2018, you know, I just quickly looked. I was like, hey, let's see what these badges look like, and they're different. So the facelift has more flatter and kind of chiseled off badges, and that's how like the style and the font is. And then the pre-facelift one has more of a bubbly one, kind of what you saw in a lot of the W204s. So you know, as they changed designs and you know, upgraded the look of them, they kind of incorporated more of the newer looks that they were going for at that time. One of the other biggest differences is the rear diffuser and spoiler, or not spoiler, sorry, the exhaust tips. You know, the pre-facelift was a little bit more mute, I'd say, in aggressiveness, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really get sold when these first came out. I felt like they were a little bit too muted in aggressiveness because they were a lot bubblier and whatnot. But I guess as they kind of moved along in the design and kind of upgrading, you know, as a lot of models, you know, go through their life cycle, you know, they upgrade, you know, looks and add on more features and whatnot. You know, it changes. So, but yeah, those are the differences, some of the cosmetic differences of the pre-facelift and the facelift, exterior wise. Other than that, I mean, it's all pretty much the same, you know, same body lines. You know, obviously they changed the tail lights. Before they were these kind of like oval wrapping ones, and then they kind of went to more of a signature kind of C design on the rear tail lights, as you can see there on the facelifted models. So you know, subtle differences, but other than that, I mean, they're still the same kind of body. You know, nothing major that changes other than some minor cosmetics. But yeah, guys, this is a pretty cool comparison to me to be able to see the differences of both these cars. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and pop the hood so we can see who created your engine and check that guy out. Alright guys, so look at that. That is a heart-thumping V8. Some of the last of its kind. So, who's the guy that built your engine? David Holzer. Or Daniel. Damn, I can't even read. Daniel Holzer. I think I've seen that before. I've seen his name. I still haven't found the person that's made my engine, or I haven't seen his name on another engine. So I'm very like intrigued. Like, I'm just like, hey, is this guy like, did he just get one shot at making these engines? Is he messed up or something, or what? But yeah, it's very interesting just to see, you know, whenever I see another C63s or another, you know, platform that had the V8, and just see who the engine builder was, because it's just cool to see, you know, if you ever find someone who built the same engine. But yeah, I haven't been able to find that guy, so maybe I'll find someone. If anyone out there has, I'll pull up the name. I forgot his name, but yeah, let's check out the inside, man. Let's check out the differences of the inside. So, you know, going in, the trim on this one is the white leather trim or silver trim, with the white stitching, which is pretty smooth. A little bit risky, you know, but it was pretty nice. Man, let's get a look at that. So this is the interior, you know, pretty much the same. Got the embossing on the headrest. a little bit of a different center console and steering wheel, which we'll get into comparison of that. But other than that, man, this thing, oh, did you get the, I didn't see this.
Yeah, the black.
Is that blacked out? That came like that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I wish mine had that. Well, yeah, mine did. Mine came chrome, but yeah, that's a subtle difference then. So one difference spotted there. The door panel, everything looks the same. Let's check the rear. We got the rear, same. And man, you can't go wrong, man. Mercedes, you know, the interiors of Mercedes, like, just to see the progression and each stage of where they're at, like, even in those times, like, I mean, you just can't beat these interiors. Like, I mean, name another person that can, another car company that has, you know, better interiors other than like Rolls-Royce or something like that. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I know the whole debate between, you know, BMWs and Mercedes, but like, I mean, I don't know. The interiors of Mercedes just go out of this world, but kind of get the best of everything, right? With Mercedes, so. But yeah, let's go into the front seat, which is where the fun happens. So, you know, go inside. So one of the biggest differences in the pre-facelift is obviously the driver's side. So, you know, the dash, it was still digital at this time, but it wasn't the facelifted digital, which I also did like. This dash, it is a pretty cool dash at that time, and for what they had at that, you know, moment when they were first dropping these pre-facelift ones. But you know, eventually they came out with the digital screen, which is, it's pretty cool to have 3 different screens on one dash. But you know, the steering wheel, this is one of the biggest differences. This is the traditional old, you know, pre-facelift steering wheels, which were pretty cool at that time still. I mean, you know, the thickness and kind of, you know, stitching and whatnot, you know, it was pretty cool at that time as well. And then the center console, one of the key differences between the pre-facelift and facelift was the clock. I think at that time it was a option, it wasn't standard. And then this also was a, you know, they don't have that on the facelifted ones anymore. There's no more CD cartridge. Everything's going digital and stuff. So but yeah, so, you know, another difference was the screen. The screens were smaller and they kind of made them a lot longer and kind of shorted on the facelifted ones. But yeah, man, other than that, got the panorama roof. Oh, I did notice this though, the backup mirror is different. On mine it's bevel-less edges. That's another subtle difference that I noticed. But yeah, guys, we're seeing 2 different versions of the same car, but 2 iconic in their own way. And it is just crazy to just be able to compare these 2 and just have 2 of these brilliant machines at our hands. But one of the key differences is, you know, these were a lot less limited. They were obviously a lot louder, and, you know, besides the cosmetic stuff, these were actually a lot more freer and you could do a lot more with them. Mine, I can't even do a standing burnout because of how the launch control and everything changed. You know, on these you'd pull the paddles back, but then on the facelift one you actually hold the brake down and then smash the gas, and then as it holds at 4,000 RPM for a little bit, then you just let go and then it just launches. So I don't know if that's a mod that I can maybe remove the chip and kind of get around it or something, but then I lose launch control or whatnot. So I don't know, but it's something I'm very interested in figuring out. But yeah, another key difference between just, you know, these 2 models and, you know, in general, is this one was made in the Alabama plant, right? Yeah. So this one, the pre-facelift one, was made in Alabama, and these were notorious for being made in Alabama in the early stages of when these first came out, which I thought was interesting because back then I was like, oh, I thought all AMGs were made in Germany, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't made anywhere else. But, you know, we all know that engines are made in Germany, but they might assemble the car somewhere else. So, you know, what difference that makes in the quality of the car, well, you know, that can vary. You know, I've heard various things about how the pre-facelift, the quality of them wasn't that great. You know, a lot of the parts creaked, and you know, they had some issues with assembly, and you know, that could be very well because of where they were being produced. You know, but I don't think that totally rides out anything about the car, depending on if it was made in Alabama or Germany or whatnot. Mine was actually made in South Africa, and I've actually had my C350 that was also made in South Africa as well. And I mean, when I got mine, you know, I noticed there were some defects, there were some scratches, and there were some, you know, not missing, but panels misaligned. But other than that, the car's been running great. It has no issues. The engine's great. You know, other than that, you know, like I said, depending on where it's made, you know, it might have minor differences or minor defects, but you know, it is what it is. But that's why you don't pay MSRP for these cars, right? You know, that was one thing that I was definitely not going to do, regardless of what it is. I know it's a Mercedes and you're paying for quality in the name, but at the end of the day, even though you're paying for, you know, Mercedes, they still can't give you, you know, a perfect you know, not messed up, but, you know, imperfected car. So, you know, but that's just my 2 cents. But moving on though, so, you know, moving on to the facelift one, you can see I got mine in blue, brilliant blue. I thought that this was another iconic color for Mercedes at that time, other than I think maybe red at that time. They were pushing red, and then, you know, the W204s were kind of pushing the yellow, solar beam yellow, and then I think these were really pushing like the Magno gray and the silver, and then you know, blue. I don't know, I never really saw many.
The satin.
Yeah, the satins too. So satin was a very popular color for this model, but you know, I never saw a lot of blues, and I just wanted to be different when I got mine. So, you know, I was like, why not go with blue? It was a lot rare, and it was different, right? You got your classic silver Mercedes, you know, iridium silver, right? That's what you got, I think. And then, you know, you had this kind of unique blue that kind of just was hidden behind, and you just never really saw many blue ones. So that's why I went with the blue. But one thing about mine is, you know, I got mine fully loaded. The only thing I didn't get was the sport seats and carbon ceramic brakes, and that's really it. And then anything else I just couldn't get because they didn't offer it. But, you know, the key differences between the pre-facelift and the facelift is obviously the Panamericana grille, the headlights, the bottom fender here is a little bit different, which I'm a little bit more skeptical about, because, you know, seeing a lot of more stuff now, these radiators are so susceptible to rocks and stuff because of how open they are. On the pre-facelift one, you know, they had a little bit more of a mesh grill to kind of, I guess, you know, help stop and deflect rocks. I don't know if you guys can see that, but on the facelift one, it's a lot more open, and, you know, these are, I guess, you know, they're figuring, you know, these S models are just more track focused, right? Not a lot of people are dailying them or whatnot, but, you know, I guess that's the opposite. You know, these things are well out there. There's a lot of these out there, a lot more than I thought when I first got this. I thought this car would be a lot more rare, but you know, these are definitely still a mass-produced car, but they're not as rare as you typically would see another car, right? So yeah, I don't see a C63s every day. Maybe now because this man got one in my hood, but you know. But yeah, other than that, you know, the diffuser and, you know, the rocker panels are still the same. You know, I got mine all blacked out. Went with the whole black, you know, theme. Went with the carbon fiber mirror caps, and you know, everything blacked out on it. Panamera roof, you know, that came standard on this one. But yeah, just another comparison between the badges. So see how the facelifted badge, it's a lot more flat, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's a lot more flat. And then if you look at right here, the pre-facelift one, it's a little bit more bubblier and in a sense pronounced in that way. But I don't know, you guys tell me what you think. Do you guys like the bubblier look, or do you guys like the flat look? I personally prefer the flat look. It looks a little bit more cleaner to me, and that's what I'm hoping that what I ordered from eBay. I ordered all blacked out badges that they look similar to that, and that the quality of it's up to par, because I don't want to put badges that fall off, even though those front V8 badges are notorious for falling off. But I'm gonna just change that to black, and then just the C63 to black. I'm gonna leave the S chrome just so it pops, and then I'll black out that chrome strip and then that emblem right there, and then I'll also black out the door handles, and I think this guy's gonna do the same thing. He actually has his badges already, so he's gonna get ahead on me at that. So but yeah, let's hop inside this thing. So, you know, one of the key differences between, you know, the pre-facelift and the facelift was the steering wheel. This was probably the best steering wheel probably ever made on a commercially sold car, I'd say. You know, I mean, it's a little crooked right now, but we'll fix that in a little bit. But yeah, one of the key differences is just the steering wheel alone. You know, it was a big change, but it definitely turned some heads, and it's what got me interested in really looking into this car and really starting to like it and want to have it. Not just because of the steering wheel, but just because of you know, just what they started doing to the interior, upgrading it, you know, having the carbon fiber, the clock, the better looking screen, just looks a lot more fitting for the car. And then obviously the digital dash was a big selling point on this one for me. It was just cool that you could have 3 different dashes, you know, at your fingertips. Yeah guys, these are all the options I have on mine. I have, you know, assisted steering, assisted lane control, parking sensors, and then I have heads-up display. The only one I wasn't able to get was the rear sunshade, and I really wanted that, but when they killed the allocations for the 2020 ones because of COVID and then shifted everything to 2021, you know, during that time they had chip shortages and stuff like that, so I guess they just didn't offer it, or it just wasn't a big seller, so they just didn't offer it anymore, so I didn't get it. But you know, there's the heads-up display. But yeah, I went with the yellow stitching on mine. I was really like kind of, you know, when I was building this car, I really wanted to be different and unique. I didn't see a lot of people with yellow stitching, and I just felt like there was just a little bit of a different taste without being too crazy with the interior. I didn't want to go with red because of the ambient lighting. I wanted the ambient lighting to really pop at night, but you know, with the red it kind of gets muted out. I didn't want to go with white. Definitely didn't want to go with white. Just didn't trust myself to maintain white, and didn't really feel like maintaining white. So but I went with the yellow stitching. I thought it was subtle enough, but it was a good enough a change and unique enough with the magma gray interior kind of run, but and the Panamera roof. So give you guys a shot of that, and then I'll pop the hood. Alright guys, so Alexander Monty is my engine builder, and I have yet to find someone who has the same engine builder as me. So is this guy like a one-off guy? Does anyone know if he just built one engine and then he got fired? I don't know, but yeah, the day I find someone who has Alexander Monty in any car, I mean like, you know, GT, you know, whatever it is, S-Class, I don't know, whoever puts their name on a V8, you know, I'm very interested to see if there's another Alex Monty out there with his name on one of these, you know, iconic engines. Just, you know, sad what's going on, man. Like, I do want to test drive a 4-cylinder though. I want to go test drive it just for fun, see how it is, and I'll make a video of that too. But yeah, guys, so you know, this is just a quick review of, you know, both W205s, the last V8s, the differences of just, you know, the interior and exterior, and what the last of what we know as, you know, traditional, you know, gas guzzling V8s, you know what I mean? Like, sad, man. It's still hard to wrap your mind around like how this is all going to change, and you know what we're going to see. Obviously, you know, we'll probably ride it out in our lifetime, but I guess our kids, or you know, whoever's younger than us, you know, they're going to be seeing that full transition to EV. Like, I don't know, let's see how the next 20 years work. I guess I'll be 40 by then, so 45, damn it. But yeah, man, until then, these are my toys. You know, I'm gonna live it up with these V8s. You know, that's all we can do. Just enjoy it while you got it. But tell me what you guys think, man. Drop some stuff in the comments. What do you guys want to see? You know, we can make some dope content with these two, and I'm already planning on it. So is but yeah, guys, tell me what you guys think. Next video, I do need to change my tires. I'm about to burn these out right now for you guys. So I'm gonna do a video on that, changing out those tires. So again, I got 255 in the front and then 285 in the back, and then I got the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. And I'll get those installed probably this weekend and make a video for you guys on that. So cool stuff coming. You know, we got some good car meets coming up, so I'm excited for that. And I plan on hitting some mountain runs too later this summer. So you guys keep in tune, keep liking these videos, subscribe, you know, follow the YouTube, follow the Instagram _sexy63s. Always posting content on there, always dropping some heat with the pictures, man. This is what I love to do. I love to make these videos for you guys. I love to interact with you guys and talk to you guys, and you know, this is what it's all about in the car community, I believe, and you know, it's what it is, man. So let's go. I'm gonna do a burnout for you guys real quick, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.